What is up, YouTube? And today I'll be showing you guys a DokiDoki Inferno team using Kokardi built for new players. And this team is going to be about 2 minutes. It can be even lower if you have better gear, or it can be a little bit longer depending if you have worse gear. But you're going to see for the most part that this team is going to be pretty free to play friendly. I'm using characters that you guys probably all have at this point. And the gear that I put on my characters is very toned down. Because my account is a day one account, I have really crazy gear compared to new players, obviously. But I did take off a lot of pieces, and you're going to see that the module effects is going to be maybe not completely accurate to new players, but pretty similar and something that you can aim for to make this team. So this team is going to feature Kokardi as the main DPS, and then we have Lily as the main support for him. I really don't think you can actually use him here without Lily because he really relies on stacking his passive, which kind of happens as you take turns. Then we have Kazuya the Reverie, pretty much a must-have character here. And then we have Kloss as the main debuffer. She is extremely good. If you guys have Plume, she's even better. But Kloss is going to be a decent option as well, although significantly worse than Plume, honestly. And then we have Valerian as the main sustain / buffer with the attack buff from her Hazy Dream. So basically, even though Kokardi's red, he's extremely good here because he has AoE on his ultimate ability, and every other turn he takes, he is AoEing with his passive. On top of that, even though he's red and you're probably scared he's going to die, he cannot get hit by any single target attacks. And even though he does take a lot of damage from AoE, you're going to find with Valerian providing the shield with Hazy Dream, and also giving this cheat death effect with it, that he's never going to ever die in this fight. So that's why he's really good. On top of that, in slower teams for newer players, you're not going to one-shot as a new player. He's really good because you can stack this passive going into the second wave, and then he starts doing a ton of damage. On top of that, there's even more. He's also going to be turn meter pushing your entire team over and over. This is really good because it makes it so that you can cycle cooldowns faster, you can get your CCs off to break the shield, and he's just an extremely strong character here, which is very funny. Now, I will say for his build, you might see that it does have some crazy stats on it, but for the most part, as long as you hit the good main stats here and momentum and fury, you should be good to go. You can see I actually have mine on White Fang. It's not even the best one here at all. You're going to want to run something like a Count. You can even run something like a Jackal Guard to cycle faster, or even something like an Artisan if you're dying a lot. But I have him on White Fang because this is the one that new players all have, and you can just run him on the setup. I don't even have the Inferno Matrix activated just to make his gear even lower for you guys. But basically, he's an extremely powerful DPS here. Now, I do have him at 554. You probably don't even need this. I think you can honestly have him just at 511 even, but maybe 551. But for the most part, you know, you don't have to lattice him this much. I just have him this high up because I use him in PvP to some success. Now, in terms of the other characters, so we're going to start off with the character you want the fastest, and that is Kloss. So basically with Kloss, you can have her 111. You don't need any lattice at all. But all you need on her is effect accuracy. You can see I only have her on Swift Rush, and I don't even have her at my fastest speed. But basically you just want 3 effect accuracy pieces. You want her to go first, and that is to land her debuffs so you can do more damage, take less damage, and speed down on the enemies. Now for her shell, I have her on Jackal Guard to cycle quicker. You can actually have her on Artisan as well, it doesn't really matter, but Jackal Guard will help her cycle a bit more, although the speed buff from it isn't necessary because we are running Lily. Now, the character that you want to go next is Kazuya. It's not Lily, it's actually going to be Kazuya. And the reason why is because you want this sleep to land on the mobs. And the reason why is because they have a mechanic where if you don't CC them, they take 90% less damage, which is basically unkillable. So you want to actually make sure she goes after your Kloss. And you also want to make sure she's on a similar build, right? Just full effect accuracy, pretty much the identical build as Kloss, just slightly slower. Now, you do want to max her S3 for sure, and then eventually you do want to max her S2, but for the most part, you know, not too heavy of investment needed as long as you have the S3 maxed. Now, the next character is Lily. So the reason why you don't want her to go super fast is because if you have her faster than your Kazuya or your Kloss, you can push your Kokardi faster than them with these the Twin Trick, and you don't want that because you want the speed tuning order, including this Twin Trick push, to go strictly Kloss into Casio, into Lily, into Kokardi. And the reason why is because, one, you want all of the debuffs to land before Kokardi goes, but also Slumber has an effect where if they're still sleeping when they get hit, they take 25% extra damage. So we really want to utilize this on the first wave to speed up the runs. So that's why I have her on slower gear and going third. And you can have her on pretty much whatever, just make her as tanky as possible. You can see I just have her on attack pieces and it still works. Honestly, you can just have her pretty fast and sacrifice some tankiness because you're going to run her on Artisan. And Artisan will make not just her tankier, but your team tankier because you're giving a shield. But she gets a 700 defense buff, which is going to be pretty massive for her bulkiness. You can see her shell is literally like one of the worst ones ever, and she still works here. And you can make a lot of improvements to this, obviously. You want her S1 maxed 100%. This is like one of the top priorities on any account with Lily because it just makes it so that you'll always bring your DPS that you twin trick. So it's very important to have that. Now the last character is Valerian. You need her S3 maxed, so you start the battle with this Hazy Dream. She's here to give us the shield after an ally takes a turn, and also this basic buff effect, which can be an attack buff, a defense buff, very good. Don't look at my S1 and S2 investment. This was when I was like a super noob. But basically all you need on her is HP percent pieces on the right side, and you just need Time Weave activated. That is literally it. And the reason why is because you want to reset the cooldown of her S3 as much as you can. Now for your shell, I like Gigabyte on her. You can run Artisan as well, doesn't really matter, but Gigabyte will allow her to cycle very quickly. And if you're thinking, oh, why would you want her to cycle with her Hazy Dream active when you want this to last as long as you can? Well, when this runs out, you want to actually cycle quickly to apply your S2 and then redo your S3. And Gigabyte will not activate while you're in your Hazy Dream because she's unable to take action. So because of this, basically, you know, this shell is really good on her. You want to make her very slow if you can, and then HP percent main stat, and you're good to go. And the reason why is because you want her to sit in this Hazy Dream as much as you can. Yeah, that is pretty much the build and setup. I'll show you guys the run and how it works, and you can see for yourself that Kokardi is pretty damn good in DokiDoki, even though he's a red character. So I'll show you guys the run, and like I said, if you find that your team is dying a bit too much, you can sub out some of the shells for Artisan. But you're going to see that this run is going to be very stable for the most part. We will put it on auto, I forgot. But as a beginner team, if you're lacking a good AoE DPS, such as Giada or like Yeli, you can use Kokardi, he works out just fine. But here we go, you're going to see that the mobs are going to not take a lot of damage at the start. But the reason why is because Kokardi is a ramping character, right? So until you actually ramp up his Calamity Flame, which is going to actually take a bit because it does cap at 16 if you have it latticed, you're not going to do that much damage. But once you do, you're going to see that his damage does do a lot. And the best part about him, like I mentioned, is when you actually proc your AoE every other turn he takes, you will be pushing up your team with that turn meter push. So you can see we do kill the first wave here, and we should have everything lined up. We do, which is perfect. In the case that you don't, it's still fine. You'll still find that your team is okay. But we're going to see here that the Valerian will S2 put up that healing buff and that invuln on my Kokardi on the turn that her Hazy Dream isn't up. And you can kind of see why Kokardi, even though he's a red DPS, he is pretty good here. He's able to not only deal AoE damage every other turn, but he is unable to be targeted by these big adds that can kind of just one-shot even green DPS, but he's pushing my team constantly. So you can see he's like a decent character here. And there we go, and you're gonna see that after this, my Kokardi should kill on the next turn. And there you have it. There is the Kokardi DokiDoki Inferno team. But that is pretty much it for this video though, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe if you guys want to see more videos like this. I'm not really too sure how many players that are new are playing the game right now on global that speak English and watch this. But if you guys are new, let me know in the comments down below so I know to make more videos and guides like this for newer players. And I'll see you guys next video.